r/ask Reddit. What is a bad thing to say on a first date? Honest answer, the worst thing you can do on a first date, outside of something completely outlandish, is talk about yourself the entire time. It's important that both people get to know one another. Sometimes people have a tendency to continuously talk about themselves if they are nervous, which can come off as narcissistic to someone whom you've just met. Be aware of the person you're with, ask questions, and be genuine. Finally, someone who looks like my mom. Finally, someone to help me with my broken arms. What do you do if the other person doesn't seem to want to talk about themselves? Once, when I was on a first date, I would ask my date things about herself, but she would only answer with a short sentence or two and then turn the conversation back around to me. It felt like pulling teeth just to get her to talk more about anything. Maybe she was trying to avoid talking about herself too much and went to the other extreme. I went on one of those dates once. Met a guy on Match and we decided to meet at a super popular pizza joint nearby. Because it was so popular, we got there about 15 minutes before it opened on a Sunday so we could get in without too much of a wait. Cue 15 minutes of strained conversation, me asking questions, him answering yes or no. I thought maybe it was because we were outdoors and it was a bit noisy. Things would be better once we were inside. Nope. We were seated as soon as the place opened, but the waitress told us it would be about 20 to 30 minutes to get our pizza since the ovens weren't quite heated up. It was honestly torture. I had to keep the conversation going solo the entire time. I'm not sure if the guy was just nervous or really that dull. I'm going with the latter. Once the pizza arrived, we ate. Didn't have to talk, thank God. I paid my share of the bill and said, "So nice to meet you, but I need to head out." I didn't get much of a reaction from him, shocker, so I thought that was that, no harm, no foul. Imagine my surprise when I heard from him 3 days later. Had a great time on Sunday. When can we see each other again? What? Yeah, just texted him back with, "Thanks, but I just didn't feel a connection. Wish you all the best." You pay. I'm broke. Make this quick. My wife wants me home before 9. My fiancé is German, icy blue eyes and blonde hair. The first time I met him, my dumbass said 60 years ago you would have been Hitler's wet dream. And somehow it worked in my favor. Get to her and touch her belly gently as you move closer and whisper, "Soon you shall be plumped up with my seed." Oh, it would be creepy as fuck. I know this is a jokey post, but this is a real thing that was said on my first date with my current boyfriend. Clearly we survived the intense awkward moment. So I was telling a funny story about my friend and I, but I kept using the past tense, like she was great, etc. So he asked, "Are you guys still friends?" She died a year ago. Both take drinks and look anywhere but each other. I've shared this before, but one time I was out on a first date with this girl I met online. I thought she was very attractive, and we seemed to hit it off well through texts. We were at this bar, and she suggests we play a people-watching game where we try to make up backstories for the other people there. I thought it sounded fun, especially since I played a similar game with friends on the train sometimes. Plus, it felt like a good icebreaker to get us talking. Well, she managed to take all the fun out of the game by being ridiculously cruel in all her assumptions for no real reason at all. It felt like she was projecting issues she had onto these people. Like one guy was sitting at the bar alone. Could have been waiting for someone, you never know, but because he was alone, he was a fucking loser with no friends that hates his life. Completely killed the mood, and I lost interest in her after that. Couldn't see myself going on a second date with someone like that. I'm dating someone who went on a blind date before we were talking. He waited until the end of dinner to say he had no money. After he got that out of the way, he proceeded to beg for sex persistently. She ended up taking a roll of quarters he had for laundry, as that's all he could offer. Cherry on top, the guy who set them up started sending her dick pics. He has a wife and 2 kids. I know you only asked for one, but I can't help myself. What the hell is that you're wearing? Wow, you're pretty. You look just like my sister. What did you have for lunch, and what sewer did it crawl out of? Phew. We gotta make this quick. My mom's picking me up for band camp in 10 minutes. Sorry about the smell. My mom served beans for lunch. I was gonna get you chocolates, but after seeing your profile pictures, I assumed you were on a diet. Oh, hey, Dad. Fun but disturbing trinket for you. We tend to choose a spouse that somehow resembles our parent of the opposite gender. My best guess would be due to the sense of safety and assurance that came with familiar faces. So there is a hint of truth to a man that seeks a woman who resembles her mother, even on a subconscious level. With my current girlfriend, we met on Tinder, and when I saw her in real life, she was much more attractive than her pictures led me on to believe, and I became that nervous guy who talked way too much. She's pretty introverted though, so she didn't mind too much, and gave me a second date where I was better at not talking so much. We hooked up for a couple weeks afterward. I had no self-esteem at this point in my life and was battling severe depression. I liked being wanted, and I can guarantee he was 100% authentic. He was an interesting guy. He freaked out in my parking lot once because his boss scheduled him at 7 a.m. on Black Friday, and he didn't know how he'd get to work. He doesn't drive. He was screaming at his mom on the phone, and I was just baffled because I was leaving for work at 6 a.m. and had to pass by his work, so he could just ask me for a ride? He also retrained my dog, or tried, while I was out one day. I was playing with my dog and gave him a command, and he didn't listen. Not unusual when he wasn't done playing, and he was cute, so I let him get away with it. Date looks at me and goes, "Actually, his command is X." Then he smiled like I'd be impressed and said, "I've been working with him while you're gone." I worked with dogs at the time, so retraining my dogs was like the ultimate sacrilege. He also drank almost exclusively chocolate milk. No judgment, it was just funny. Just accidentally emailed a porn link to a coworker, so I emailed 10 other coworkers the link and called it a virus. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.